Alright, you guys, today we are going to be chatting about how our homeschool year is going. This is a collaboration hosted by myself and Devine over at Calm in the Chaos Homeschool. I'll go ahead and link the playlist down below in the description bar. Make sure you go check it out when you are done with this video. Go see how all of the lovely mamas' homeschool years are going so far, and the changes that they're making, the things that they're excelling at, whatever they're struggling with. I can't wait to just see how everyone's years are going so far. I hope that they're all going well. So far I feel like our year is going pretty well. I have had to make a little bit of changes, but I think I might have already spoken to you guys about them in a previous video. If you're new here, I have a 9-month-old, a almost 4-year-old. I'm not doing any official schooling with him. We're just doing we're trying to focus on reading and then playing more together. And then I have a 2nd grader and a 6th grader. And I feel like this year is so much more different than our previous years. I feel like with my 6th grader, we're starting to transition from those shorter homeschool days to a little longer school days, just because of the amount of work that's required from him. And then also some of the curriculums that I've chosen, they take longer. So some of our days are running a little long, plus, just trying to juggle schooling 2 kids in 2 different grades and then having 2 little ones who have their own separate wants and needs and things that you need to stop the day for and kind of pause. It just takes longer. And so far, I feel like our schedule is going really well. In the beginning of the year, I was trying to do all of the language arts with my daughter that we have every day. And so she's in 2nd grade. So we are doing spelling connections. We have Evan Moore's grammar and punctuation, and then she's doing IEW's Bible Heroes, and she's also still working on her reading skills. So we're doing all about reading. And so trying to do all of those every day was causing us to not end our day until about 4 or 5 in the evening, and it was too long. It was way too long. And she was handling it like a champ, but you could see the writing on the wall when you're starting around 10, and then all the interruptions in the day cause you to go a little longer, and then just the curriculum in general causes you to go longer. Even if she was handling it well, I could see if we do this long term, is she going to continue to handle it well? And so I decided to change things up for her. So instead of us doing all of those things every day in conjunction with all of our other curriculum, we are doing a block schedule for her. So all about reading, and then our spelling connections is done 2 days a week, and then the other 2 days a week is her Bible Heroes and grammar and punctuation, and that has worked out so much better. Our days are ending so much earlier, and there's not that fear of, sorry, you guys are gonna hear the planes. I hate it. And no matter where we move, there's planes. I feel like that's working out so much better for her, and our days are so much shorter than what they were at the beginning of the year, and we're starting to find that nice rhythm and flow. Now, if you guys did see that schedule video, you know that we chose a Sabbath schedule for this year. I'm gonna back up for a moment. So in the past, we have taken the whole summer off and then jumped back into the, regular school year. But I really feel like it would benefit my 2nd grader more if she had that repetition and not such long breaks. And so while I still do want to take about a 6 or 7 week break in the summer, I do want to work in more of a year-round homeschool schedule. And so with that, we are also doing a Sabbath schedule. So we're on for 6 weeks, and then we take 1 week off. So I feel like that was a really good call, because some of our curriculums are a little harder this year. They're really great. I don't have any complaints, and I'll talk about our curriculums in a bit. But I feel like we were getting to that point where it's yeah, we need a break. And so by the time that 6th week ended, it was perfect timing to take a break. And we actually ended up extending it. So instead of just taking 1 week off, we ended up taking 2 weeks off, and that was really nice. And I also ended up pairing that break with the break here that I took on YouTube. I think just doing so many videos over the summer with the number of kids that I have and all of the activities that we were trying to do too, and then just trying to unpack the house, it was starting to get to be a lot. And as much as I love reviewing curriculums for you guys, sometimes it's a lot on the back end that you guys don't see, where, you know, it's sitting down with the curriculum and then completely going through it and then finding the things online that I feel are important to mention, and just trying to do a well-rounded review. So I really enjoy it, but sometimes it just takes a lot of effort and energy, and then that's not even including, you know, the recording and the editing. And so I really needed that break, like not just from homeschooling, but I think from doing videos too. And so that was really nice to have that. So far we are really liking the Sabbath schedule. I think I'm going to keep it around for a while. I like that you get a break in shorter increments instead of, you know, that traditional like, oh, we're on for 9 weeks and then we take a week or 2 off. I really like, no, we're on for 6 weeks and then we take a week off, and then we're on for 6 weeks, take a week off. I think that is a lot better. And I do think that will be altered during the Christmas season for us. Instead of just taking a week off around Christmas, I do think we're going to end up taking like 3 or 4 weeks off, but just because I'm a Christmas nut, and so I want to go to all of the Christmas events and activities that are around in our local area. And then, you know, I think it's just nice to have that downtime too as a mom, where you can take off your teacher's hat and put on your mom hat, and you can just be mom for a bit instead of, okay, I'm homeschool planning mode all the time. All right, so moving on to our curriculums. So for my 2nd grader, she is doing, like I mentioned, Bible Heroes from IEW, all about reading, spelling connections, Evan Moore grammar and punctuation, and then she has, sorry, one of the kids had a question. And then she is doing Apologia's Math Level 2, and then we are also using Master Books Math 2. If you're new here, we're using the 2 math curriculums just because she does need a little extra repetition, like I previously mentioned, and they seem to pair really well together. And then what else? Oh, and then for our group subjects, we are doing Bible Road Trip, and then Mystery of History. And I am currently using home science tools for our science. I do still plan on creating a unit study for science, but honestly, I just have not had the time. I have not had the time to sit down and plan anything regarding science, and I really, really want to, because when I was planning our science unit studies, the kids were having so much fun, they were learning so much, and science came alive for them, and so I really, really want to get back to that, but right now I just don't have the time. Home science tools so far though has been really good for us. We started the year with their forensic science kit. Okay, sorry you guys, I keep getting interrupted. They're playing, and at least it's not crying. So that ended up being an unexpectedly fun science curriculum, and if you guys have been here for any length of time, you know that it's been very hard for me to find a science curriculum that meets everybody's needs, that we enjoy doing as a group, that isn't overly, you know, textbooky, but is fun. I'm a science nerd by heart, but I have not always been a science nerd. Science and math, they used to be very challenging for me in school. I did not enjoy them, and so it's really important to me to find curriculums that make these subjects come alive for my kids, like the bland and dry subjects like history and science, like the subjects that are not always fun. It's really important for me to find curriculums that are enjoyable, because I want my kids to enjoy these subjects. I want them to have, even if they don't have a passion for it, I want them to have some type of enjoyment while doing it, so then that way whatever they learn sticks a little more. And so I was pleasantly surprised with their forensic science kit, and so my son loved it so much to the point that he wants a detective kit for Christmas. And so that was such a wonderful curriculum, and I think that would also be a wonderful curriculum to use if you are teaching a co-op class. It was relatively easy to put together. It wasn't anything that was stressful. They had so many fun experiments in it, and I didn't have to worry about, chemicals and my toddler. Like, they did have chemical type things, but it was nothing that, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to get into this and it's going to be bad. And I will be doing a curriculum review for that one coming up for you guys, because we just genuinely enjoyed it. And I had initially not planned to review that until we did it. And then I was like, yeah, I gotta review this. I've got to tell you guys how great it is. So moving on to the rest of her curriculum. So far she's really liking spelling connections and Evan Moore's grammar and punctuation. Those are relatively easy and straight to the point, quick assignments. It's nothing that takes too long. It's not lengthy at all. For Bible Heroes, I'm really enjoying that with her, and I feel like it pairs so well with our history and our Bible curriculum. The lessons just seem to weave together in a wonderful way. And I really like that she's learning how to outline papers. As far as All About Reading, we're still really loving it. I already purchased their All About Reading level 3 just because she blew through the first one so fast, and she's blowing through this one pretty quickly as well. I don't know if I'll do level 4 though. Not because we don't like it, but just because it takes so very long to prep it, and I don't have the time. I wish you could just pay them extra money and then it comes to you already prepped. Like everything already cut out and sectioned off for you. Like, they would make so much money from me if they would just offer that service. I'm sure there's probably people that you can pay on like Etsy or somewhere in the vast online crevices. You can probably find someone to prep it for you, but I don't want to do that. I'm looking back to see what all the curriculum is that we have. So for her math, we are doing, like I mentioned, the Apologia level 2 and Master Books Math level 2. And I love it. Like, they pair so well together. They're both going over the same topics around the same times. I won't say that like every single lesson pairs up just beautifully, but for the most part overall, like, she's learning the same things. And so I love that repetition that she's getting. I really feel like that's what she needs, is just consistent repetition. So then she masters these things. And so I'm really happy with our choice. At the beginning of the year, I was planning on primarily using Apologia's Math with her and then just supplementing with Master Books Math. But these lessons don't take her very long at all. And since they pair up so well together, we have been doing each one every day. And then she's done within like 30-35 minutes. It doesn't take her long at all to complete both books. And I love that she's getting just information from different sources that covers the same topic. All right, so moving on to my 6th grader. So he is using Apologia's Math Level 6, and so far we are really liking that curriculum. We did skip the first chapter just because he had already mastered a lot of what the lessons were teaching, and he knows it forwards and backwards. He's very good in math. And so I was comfortable with letting him skip that first chapter. But all of the other lessons that he's done, they've been fun, they've been engaging, he is learning well, and so far we are really happy with that curriculum. I am sad that they don't have anything higher than their Math 6. So I need to look and see what we are going to be using next year. I'm kind of leaning towards Denison, but I'm very hesitant to spend that amount of money. I know so many people love Denison. We just, if the curriculum is a lot of money, I like to be able to reuse it for all of my other kids, and you can't do that with Denison's videos. And so I think that's my only hang up there. So if you happen to have a middle school math that you love, let me know down below. Or if you have, pros and cons to Denison, I would love to hear that. As far as his other curriculums, we are using IEW's Fables, Myths, and Fairy Tales, Fix-It Grammar, Phonetic Zoo Level B, and then he is also using their cursive. And so far, we still love everything. My only problem with the themed writing books is that I have to remember to watch the parent videos. And I knew that was going to be my downfall when we chose the themed writers. Thankfully, he already used Structure and Style Level 1 last year, and so because I was sitting there with him during the majority of his lessons, and he's already gone through that, the lessons haven't been too hard to teach without having watched those videos. But I definitely need to get on that, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my planner and I'm going to go through for the rest of the year, and I'm going to write out a week or two before I need to watch the next parent video a little reminder, so then that way I can stay on top of it and you know, not drop the ball. So as far as our group work, you guys, I love it so much. Like I did not realize when I was choosing these curriculums that they paired up in the way that they do, and it's like the chef's kiss, like of curriculum picks. So we are doing Mystery of History Level 1 and Bible Road Trip Year 1, and those lessons line up so beautifully, and they also line up so beautifully with IEW's Bible Heroes. And so my kids are constantly getting just this beautiful repetition of the stories and the history and everything that they're learning, and it's just reinforcing everything from all of these different curriculums, and I love it so very much. And I'm wondering if Mystery of History Level 2 will also line up with Bible Road Trip Year 2, because if they do, that would just be like amazing. So if you are looking, if your child does really well with repetition and reinforcement from different curriculums, and you are looking for something that just weaves together so beautifully and just reinforces everything, I would 100% recommend Bible Road Trip and Mystery of History. And if you have a child that's in the younger grades, Bible Heroes as well. You will love it. Like literally, like even if it doesn't line up every single week, it's lining up within a week or two of each other. It's so good, so good. And so I'm so happy with our choices. However, I have noticed that the only like downside for me is that our week flows so much better if I sit down and I plan on the weekends and I pull these curriculums out and I'm like, okay, what is our week going to look like? Because Bible Road Trip gives you a suggested schedule, and that's wonderful. It was so helpful in the first couple of weeks that we were using it, but there's a lot of different moving parts to that curriculum. So you're memorizing scripture, and then your child is notebooking, and you're reading scripture all week long, and then you're also doing a I always forget the name of this book, but it's like a Praying Around the World book. And then you're also reading 66 books, one story. And then on top of it, you have crafts, and you have like all of these optional things that you can do that you know, can either choose to leave aside or you can do them. And so same for Mystery of History. And so while they're open and go, I have noticed that if I sit down and I plan it, it flows so much better. I'm not like sitting there scrambling the day of, like trying to read everything and then like, okay, what are we doing? It just kind of takes some of the guesswork out. So I'm not a huge fan of using some of the weekend time. That should also be my downtime to sit there and plan out our week, but I do enjoy the consistency that it provides me of knowing exactly what I'm going to do and having my own plan, instead of kind of like, you know, just going in all willy-nilly during the week. I don't do well with just, you know, go with the flow. I try, but I'm more of a type A planner, and so when I sit down and plan it, it goes so much faster. I don't have to sit there and try to figure out, you know, how to best utilize everything and what crafts we want to do and what crafts we don't, and yeah, so you guys get the point. All right, so I think that is about everything for homeschool. I am going to give you guys a quick life update just because I mentioned it towards the end of our last homeschool year. And so I figured maybe this can help somebody who might be going through the same things or similar things or something that's completely different, but you keep getting test results back that just say you're normal, but nobody wants to investigate further even though you have symptoms. So about 2 months after I had our baby, I developed a really weird case of dizziness. It came on suddenly one night, and then it lasted for months on end. And I saw doctor after doctor. I had so much blood work done. Everything kept coming back normal. The few things that came back that were not, within normal ranges, they were like, oh, well, it's not concerning because it's not like too high or too out of the range of normal. And I kept saying like, yeah, but I'm symptomatic. So the things that are not normal should be concerning because I'm having symptoms. And nobody wanted to listen. And I can't tell you guys how many doctors I've seen at this point. 6, 7, 8. No, I think it's been more about 7 or 8. But basically it's gotten to the point where I need to solve my health issues myself. So the more and more I was looking at my labs, I was having some right-sided flank pain, and so it kept saying like it could be kidney issues or it could be dehydration. And everything for my kidney came back fine. I had a CT scan, I had an ultrasound, all of my labs, but I still had this pain. And so then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to treat myself as if I'm dehydrated and see if that makes a difference. And sure enough, that helped immensely. The dizziness went away. But over the course of about 4 or 5 months, it would come back here and there. So it was never just completely gone. I never felt completely normal. And now that we have moved to a different area, my husband's out of the military, and now I can see a civilian doctor, I figured maybe they'll listen. Maybe this will be like the person who will help me. Because sometimes, those of you who are familiar with military healthcare, they give you Motrin and they tell you to have a nice day. So I went to this new doctor thinking, okay, like, you're gonna listen. So I gave her my whole spiel. And about a week and a half before this appointment, I had started drinking just about like 3 or 4 sips of coffee every day. Prior to this, I had completely given it up just because I noticed that even if I took 1 sip, the dizziness would come back fast and furious, and it was awful. And for that week and a half, I was doing really well. And this is how I know that it's the Lord's provision and intervention, because the day of my appointment, I get to the doctor's office and my blood pressure was through the roof. She did an EKG. I had some abnormal results. She sent me to a cardiologist. Everything checked out fine. She did some lab work. Everything checked out fine. And then they recommended that I go to physical therapy to see if maybe it is something with my ear. Everything checked out fine. Then they recommended that I go to an ENT, and that's when I drew the line. And I'm like, it's not an ENT issue. I believe that this dizziness is stemming from dehydration, but I don't know what's causing me to be dehydrated because I drink 3 to 5 liters of water a day and I'm taking electrolytes. There's really no reason why I should be dehydrated. And they don't want to dig further on that. And since I can only research so much, and I've overturned every rock at this point. So prior to us moving, my friend told me about a hair analysis that she did where they take a few strands of your hair and then they put it through this machine, and it gives you a 36-page report of everything that is going on in your body. Like, it tells you what your vitamin and minerals are like, if you're deficient on any, if something's going on with your cardiovascular system, your gut health, if you have an issue with heavy metals or parasites or viruses or bacteria. And so we finally got to the position where we were able to afford this test. And I'll put the clinic that I'm going through down in the description bar, along with like the link to the hair analysis, in case it's of interest to any of you, in case you have something where you keep getting back all of your blood results and everything is normal, but you don't feel normal and nobody wants to investigate anything. Because at this point, I just think doctors are stupid and lazy. And before anybody comes at me for that, I'm a nurse. Like, I'm not just, hating on doctors or anything, but I do think that there are certain things that they can do that they're just not doing. And, well, it's not even that I think that they can do it. I know they can do it. They just don't want to do it. And so, forgive me if any of you are married to a doctor or you are a doctor, but it's just, I'm so tired. I'm so very tired of constantly just feeling in poor health. and not getting answers just because my blood tests come back normal. It's so frustrating. And so I got this hair analysis done, and it is so interesting because I am deficient on some vitamins and minerals, and these things can affect dizziness. And my body is apparently also overrun right now with viruses and bacteria. I don't know which ones, because I'm going to meet with the health coach to go over my report and see what that could mean in the coming days. But I feel like I'm finally at the point where I'm going to get some answers. And even though my blood tests have come back, the fact that this hair analysis has shown like, no, your body is currently fighting viruses and bacteria off, of course I'm going to feel crummy like I have. So I think it's really interesting. I will, like I mentioned, link that down below. It's not an affiliate. They don't even know I'm mentioning them. I haven't even met with them. It's just, you know, I think sometimes you get sick of feeling sick, and that's the point that I'm at. And so hopefully that can help one of you if you're in the same crummy boat where nobody is helping you and you basically have to be put in a position where you're helping yourself. I'm really hoping that this is my saving grace and this is the answer to prayers where I can make the changes that I need to make. It's really quite fascinating too, because they even give you a list of foods to stay away from, not because you have allergies or intolerances, but they're like, these are just not the foods that are going to be best for your body to expend energy on, to break down and metabolize while you're trying to heal. Instead, you should be eating these foods. And so I think that that's such a well-rounded approach, and it's not anything that you would find in the normal medical community. I know some of you may love that and you may hate that. Be nice in the comments. Okay, I'm getting tired of getting angry comments. So that is basically everything in a nutshell with how our homeschool year is going. I would love to hear how your homeschool year is going, so let me know down below in the comments. I love hearing from you guys and just getting to chat with you and getting to know you. Don't forget to check out the playlist when you are done with this video. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, hit that red subscribe button, and I will see you again later. Bye.